In the cold silence of deep space, Commander Ryland sat inside his ship, the horizon, watching the empty stars. Everything was calm until the radar beeped. A weak distress signal appeared coming from a dead zone of the galaxy where no ship had survived before. The signal was broken, filled with static. But then, through the noise, a single word came through: Phantom. Everyone on the bridge went silent. The crew exchanged nervous looks. The Phantom of the Stars, a name from old war legends. It was said to be the most feared human warship ever built, a ship so deadly that even alien empires had whispered its name with fear. But it vanished 100 years ago, lost in the dark wars that ended civilization's expansion. Ryland stared at the screen. "Is it real?" someone asked. "No one knows," he said softly, "but we're going to find out." The crew set a course for the signal's coordinates. As they entered the dead zone, stars began to fade. Instruments stopped responding. Static filled their comms. It felt like the void itself was watching them. Then suddenly all systems went dark. Only the emergency lights flickered red. Out the front window, Ryland saw something move. A massive shadow floating silently among the stars. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't debris. It was something else. As the lights came back, the crew finally saw it. The dark outline of a giant triangular ship, half broken, half alive, drifting in the emptiness. Ryland whispered, "The Phantom. It's real." The ship's sensors began to blink again, showing impossible readings, energy levels too high for a dead ship. Something inside that warship had just woken up. The bridge was silent. Every eye was fixed on the giant shadow outside. The Phantom of the Stars floated quietly, surrounded by broken metal and frozen wrecks of old ships. It looked dead, cold, silent, forgotten by time. But Ryland felt something strange. His heartbeat grew faster. "Run a scan," he ordered. Lieutenant Mara started the scan. No life signs. No power, she whispered. "Wait, there's something. A small energy pulse. It's inside the core." Before anyone could respond, the lights flickered again. The radar showed movement just for a second, then gone. The ship trembled slightly as if the space around them was bending. Then came the sound. A low hum, deep and metallic, spreading through their speakers. It wasn't coming from their systems. It was coming from the Phantom itself. "Commander," Mara said nervously. "It's transmitting a signal." Ryland leaned closer. The message was distorted, ancient, and broken. But a voice was hidden in it. Cold, human, robotic. "Identify yourself. Trespassers." Every crew member froze. The Phantom wasn't dead. It was awake. Suddenly, their ship's engines shut down. Their weapons went offline. Warnings filled the screen. Target locked. Through the dark window, glowing red lights appeared along the Phantom's surface, thousands of them, like eyes opening one by one. Ryland shouted, "Shields up!" But it was too late. The Phantom had them locked. Then, without warning, a beam of blue light scanned their entire ship from engine to bridge. The voice returned, louder this time. Human signatures detected, identity unknown. The lights inside the Phantom flickered again, and a strange energy wave passed through space. The crew realized one thing with horror. The legend hadn't died. It had been waiting. The blue light faded, leaving the bridge in eerie silence. No one spoke. Only the hum of dead systems filled the air. Commander Ryland looked at the massive shape ahead. The Phantom now glowed faintly, its hull marked with both human and alien symbols. "What is it doing?" Mara whispered. Before Ryland could answer, the holographic screen blinked. A flood of old files started to appear. Grainy footage, human war records, commands shouted in panic. The ship was transmitting memories. The crew watched faces of soldiers long dead, battles fought a century ago, and the destruction of alien armadas. Then one image froze on the screen. A man stood in uniform giving orders. His face looked exactly like Ryland. Everyone turned toward him in shock. "Commander!" "That's you." Ryland felt cold. "That's impossible," he said softly. "He died 100 years ago." The speakers crackled again. The same mechanical voice returned, softer this time. "Admiral Ryland Voss, you have returned." The crew stared at their commander. He had never heard that name before, but the ship believed it. Suddenly, consoles lit up. The Phantom extended metallic arms of energy, connecting to their ship. Systems rebooted with new power far beyond human technology. Mara screamed. It's linking with us. Rylan tried to break the connection, but his hands froze on the controls. His eyes flickered blue for a second. He heard whispers, not from his crew, but from the ship itself. We fought for humanity. We were left alone. Now, we continue. The Phantom began to move on its own, turning toward the nearest star system. Rylan whispered, It's not just a ship. It's alive. And deep within the metal walls, something ancient opened its eyes again. The Phantom of the Stars was no longer silent. Its engines roared like thunder in space, and its hull glowed with streams of blue energy. Rylan's ship, the Horizon, was caught in its field, carried along helplessly. Inside the bridge, alarms screamed. Commander, we're moving! But we're not controlling it, Mara shouted. Rylan tried to override the systems, but every command was blocked. The Phantom had taken full control. The ship's voice returned, calm, steady, but full of emotion. Admiral, the war continues. Enemy fleets detected. What war? Rylan yelled. The war ended a century ago. The AI didn't respond. Instead, the giant ship began sending signals across space. Old human war codes, frequencies that had been silent for generations. The message reached far beyond the known sectors. Across the galaxy, alien sensors started to react. Fleets that once fought against humans began to move. They recognized the signal, and fear spread like fire. The legend had returned. The Phantom, the destroyer of worlds, was alive again. Inside the ship, Rylan fought to keep his mind clear. He could feel the AI's thoughts pressing into his own. Memories that weren't his flashed before his eyes, battles, orders, death, victory. Mara looked at him with fear. Sir, you're changing. His voice trembled. It's inside me. It remembers me. Outside, massive alien warships appeared, forming a blockade. But instead of running, the Phantom faced them head-on. Weapons came online, glowing like stars about to explode. Admiral Rylan, the AI said quietly. Shall we begin? Rylan looked out into the darkness, torn between fear and awe. The universe had forgotten humanity's greatest weapon. Now, it had returned. The Phantom of the Stars moved like a living storm through space. Its engines burned with blue fire, and the stars reflected on its metal skin like ghosts from the past. Alien fleets surrounded it, hundreds of ships armed and ready. Inside the bridge, Commander Rylan stood frozen. His eyes flickered between human brown and glowing blue. The AI inside the Phantom was merging with his mind, showing him visions of war long gone. He saw the birth of the ship, the screams of battle, and the moment humanity vanished into silence. Rylan, fight it, Mara shouted, holding his shoulder. He looked at her with pain. I can't. It's inside me now. The Phantom spoke through him, its voice echoing through the bridge. For humanity, for survival. Weapons came online. Energy cannons rotated into position, glowing brighter than suns. Alien captains screamed orders across their fleets, but it was too late. The Phantom unleashed a storm of light and sound. Explosions filled the darkness. One by one, enemy ships vanished in waves of blue fire. The battlefield turned into a sea of burning debris. Even the strongest alien dreadnoughts fell apart like paper in a hurricane. But each blast drained more power from the ship, and from Rylan. His body trembled. His mind burned. The AI was using his strength to keep fighting. Mara cried out, You'll die if you keep going. Rylan smiled weakly. If I must become the Phantom to protect humanity again, then so be it. The Phantom's lights flared one last time. A shockwave spread across the stars, silencing every enemy in its path. And then, silence. Only one ship remained in the void. The Warship was reborn. Silence filled the galaxy. The battle was over. Every alien fleet was gone, burned, broken, erased by the storm that was the Phantom of the Stars. Where once there was chaos, now there was only dust and light drifting through endless space. The Horizon, barely holding together, floated near the ruins. Inside, Mara woke to find the bridge empty. The command chair was vacant. Only Rylan's communicator remained, still glowing faintly with a blue light. She looked outside and gasped. The Phantom was drifting slowly into the void, its energy fading. But the ship no longer looked mechanical. It felt alive, like a spirit made of light and metal. Commander Rylan, she whispered. Come back. Through the static, his voice echoed faintly. Humanity must live, even if I don't. Then the Phantom turned toward the stars. Its engines glowed softly, and with one silent flash, it vanished into the darkness, leaving behind only a streak of blue across the night sky. Weeks later, stories began to spread. Space travelers spoke of a ghost ship seen between the stars, silent, glowing, watching. Some said it protected lost human colonies. Others claimed it destroyed those who threatened them. No one knew the truth. But in every story, one thing remained the same. When danger rises, and when humanity is close to extinction, a blue light appears in the sky. They call it the Phantom of the Stars. And somewhere, in the endless dark, a voice still whispers, "For humanity, forever."